The following is a rebroadcast of a past episode of Altherr and Pyle. Some of the material seen may have been edited out from its original broadcast. Altherr and Pyle is sponsored by Second Blessing Thrift Shop in downtown Tipton, a Christian faith-based non-profit organization that exists to provide practical and spiritual support to the citizens of Tipton County, and by Quincy's Brass Band. For more information on how you can book them for your next event, go to www.quincy'sbrass.com. Coming up on this edition of Altherr and Pyle, we'll have a report on ways you can protect yourself during the summer season. Plus, Jacob Pyle has an interview with a lady who runs a local Chrysler plant. Plus, Denny Altherr introduces you to Second Blessing, the Cam Drop-In Center and a local food pantry, all of which are run by different churches in the same community. All that and more coming up right now on Altherr and Pyle. And now, coming to you live from our studios here in Tipton, Indiana, it's Altherr and Pyle. And here are your hosts on Altherr and Pyle, Denny Altherr and Jacob Pyle.
Hello everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Altherr and Pyle. I'm Denny Altherr.
And I'm Jacob Pyle. Summertime was one of my favorite times of the year, where people soak up the summer sun, friends hit the pool, and all kinds of other interesting stuff. But there are many dangers we have about summer that sometimes we don't even know about.
That's right. And here with some of more information in this week's report, here's Jacob Pyle with some tips on how you can get ready for summer.
Summertime, one of the best times of the year. Everybody loves to enjoy summer as they spend more time outside, getting exercise, staying fit, and even walking the dogs along with them. What better place here in Tipton to kick back and enjoy a long summer's day than the Tipton Park, which is where I'm at now. Summer's one of my, I like going out and getting some summer sun sometimes. I remember when I was little, my mom used to take me to the pool, and we would often do all kinds of things, because, the pool, by the way, the pool is one of the greatest places you could be able to cool yourself off with on a hot day, because, you can actually be able to lay in the pool and go swimming and all kinds of other fun stuff. In fact, it's so fun that it's always best to remember to wear your goggles and your headgear when you're out swimming, because it's very important that you do that, because I've heard people drowning in swimming pools before, and that's not a good thing. I remember I almost drowned one time. I almost drowned one time. Luckily, I was able to breathe again and get back up in the air. But it's great, though, that places like the swimming pool here in Tipton is one of the greatest places of all to go swimming at, And there's so many other places here in Tipton that most people like to do. Some people love going out for ice cream during the summer. Other people like to go out and just get like a pop or water to drink or something like that. Because on a hot day like this, you definitely deserve it. You never know when you'll need it. To some people, summer is a great time of year, where people hang out with friends and do all kinds of other fun stuff. But other times, summer's one of the most dangerous seasons of them all. So here's some tips on ways you can protect yourself during the summer season. First off, if you have any outdoor plans, it's very important that you check the weather before you plan. If it's too hot or too rainy, don't head outdoors. But if you do have to head outdoors, keep these things in mind. Make sure you have with you at all times sunglasses, sunblock, your umbrella in case it rains, which is raining right now, for example, and plenty of bottled water. Why bottled water? Well, in the summertime, especially when you're out exercising in hot water, you sweat a lot. And the more you sweat, the more water you lose. Water is the best way to hydrate yourself and cool yourself down on a hot day. Now, the one other important thing about summer that most people don't know is that it's not only hot, but it's also a good time for tornadoes and other damaging storms to occur. When you're outside and hear a rumble of thunder, or you feel that it starts to rain, head to a nearby interior room. If you know of a tornado coming or you hear a tornado siren, go to a place or basement or any other place with no windows. Again, don't forget to bring your umbrella. Avoid standing near trees and electrical poles. as you get a good chance of getting electrocuted after lightning strikes, but if you stand by them. So, and so all in all, enjoy your summer's day. May you have a safe summer, and with your friends and family, and have a fun time this summer. But don't forget to remember those key rules I just gave you, because they're important. So yeah, everything you just heard there is very important if you want to stay safe during the summer.
That's true, I guess. Thank you, Jacob. There's more of Altherr and Pyle to come. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Coming up, we're going to be introducing you to some local businesses here in Tipton, which all have something similar. We'll have that for you when Altherr and Pyle returns.
Welcome back. Last week, you got to meet a lady who runs a Goodwill Light Service in Tipton County. Well, today, we're going to introduce you to the man who runs a similar thrift shop here in Tipton. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Steve Brown. Steve, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Denny. It's good to be here.
Now, Steve, let's talk about Second Blessings for a second.
Okay.
How did all that get started?
Oh, my goodness. It started quite a few years ago. I don't know exactly the year it started, but Mark and Naomi Slukas began the ministry in the back room of their church at New Life Assembly of Christ, and Assembly of God, rather. And they began that ministry there and ran it for quite a few years until I began overseeing it in 2009.
Now, do you sell a lot of interesting stuff in there?
Oh, there's a little bit of everything in there. Of course, it all depends on what is donated, and but a lot of clothes, a lot of household goods, dishes. There's a wide variety of things. Again, it all just depends on what donations come in the door.
Okay. Now, I understand you recently opened something up as part of Second Blessings, known as the Cam Drop-In Center. First, for those viewers out there who are wondering, what does CAM stand for?
CAM stands for Coordinated Assistance Ministries, and it is based in Kokomo, and they wanted to have something here located in Tipton that could help this community, and so that's where it came from.
And I also understand that your church also has a food pantry. What's the name of that food pantry?
Well, the name of the food pantry is the Good Shepherd Food Pantry, and it is it's just part of the Second Blessing thing, and it's open 3 times a month, and it also is funded and supplied by a lot of various individuals and churches and businesses in the community.
Very good. And do you get a lot of people that come in wanting assistance from the food pantry?
Yeah, on a monthly basis, we probably average around 25 to 30 families per pantry night, which comes up to around 80 to 90 families that we assist on any given month.
So it's been a real blessing for Tipton County then, and its residents that are in need.
We believe so, yeah, we hope so.
And before we go, will you briefly give us a plug about Second Blessings, the Cam Drop-In Center, and the food pantry, telling us where it is, what times they're open, and stuff like that?
Okay, well, Second Blessing Thrift Store is right here on Jefferson Street. It's directly across from the Diana Theater. They're open on Monday through Friday from noon till 5, and on Saturday from 9 to 5. And then donations can be dropped off anytime in those hours as well. The food pantry is open 3 times a month. We're open every first and third Tuesday of the month in the evenings from 6 to 7. And we're also open one Wednesday, which is the second Wednesday of the month, from 11 to 12:30, somewhere in that ballpark, just whenever things are wrapped up. And then the Cam Drop-In Center is also, it operates inside the thrift store, beginning around noon, and I think they wrap things up there usually around 3:30 or so. And that's The food pantry actually is located at 120 4th Street here in town, where Smith Monument Building used to be.
I know exactly where that's at. Now, before we go, for those of you viewers out there who are wondering who that voice was that introduced us at the beginning of the show, it's this man right here. Will you do us a favor and read this script in the best announcer's voice you know how?
Well, I'll do my best. And now, coming to you live from our studios in Tipton, Indiana, it's Altherr and Pyle. And here are your hosts on Altherr and Pyle, Denny Altherr and Jacob Pyle.
Steve Brown, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll have more of Altherr and Pyle coming up.
Coming up, you get to meet a lady who works at a Chrysler plant as she tells you about what working at a place like Chrysler is all about. We'll have that for you when Altherr and Pyle returns.
Welcome back, and now it's time for this week's special guest interview. Now, you know, Chrysler is one of America's biggest selling car dealers in the world. In fact, Chrysler itself has sold up to $83.6 billion in 2014 alone in revenues. We're talking a lot of money here, folks. In fact, they pay a lot of good people to put all those cars together that you drive on the open roads each and every day. And today you happen to be in luck because I'm going to introduce to you a friend of mine who happens to be a supervisor for a Chrysler plant. Joining us live from the Sharpsville Park this week is our special guest, Ashley Cole. Hi, Ashley. Thank you for joining us today. Now, I have to explain something to our audience I kind of explained to you before we filmed the interview. Since Chrysler is a major company, I told her if there was anything she was not allowed to say about Chrysler to just try to answer the questions as best as she possibly could. Now tell us, what do you do as a supervisor for a Chrysler plant?
I am the supervisor for the 8-speed production area. We produce transmissions. We're in the machining area, so we make anything aluminum, we cut those. I'm in charge of the manpower, helping people know where to go, organizing the hours and clearing overtime, that sort of thing. Make all the difficult decisions.
What do you like best about your job?
All the people that I get to work with. I have a really great team. We all get along really well together. They got my back, I got theirs. I really enjoy the people that I work with.
What is factory work like?
It's rough. It's busy, it's demanding, it's high speed, you have to make decisions on the fly. It's dirty, it's hard, but it's rewarding. It's really rewarding at the end of the day when you know that you helped put that transmission together that's going to go inside of a new car. It's really rewarding.
Do you like your job? And if so, why?
I really do like my job. There's a lot of adrenaline involved. I have to work long hours and work with a lot of different people and just stay pumped and be a positive attitude in there to help keep everybody motivated because we're all working really hard.
And finally, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who wants to be a supervisor?
I'd say networking is really important. Starting out in high school, I volunteered a lot at different events, different community events. I learned a lot. A lot of the things I learned starting out, I wasn't paid for. Sometimes the most important things that you'll learn in life aren't necessarily something you'll learn from school or from a job. So definitely get out there, volunteer, network, get to know people, and never pass up an opportunity to learn something.
Ashley Cole, thank you for joining us this week, and we thank you for all the hard work you do. We'll be right back.
Coming up, Denny Altherr has this week's Borrowed Time article. We'll have that for you when Altherr and Pyle returns.
Welcome back. If you ever get a chance to read the Tipton Tribune every now and then, you might run into a segment in the lifestyle section of the Tipton Tribune known as Borrowed Time. Well, from time to time on our program, whenever I have a new article that I have written for the newspaper, I'm going to present it right here on this program, in a segment which is coincidentally titled Borrowed Time. Each article that I'll be reading was written by yours truly. The first Borrowed Time segment is an article I have written for the May 18th edition of the Tipton Tribune about our show. I am fulfilling another ambition I've had. This all goes back to when I made my television debut on local cable television back in the 1980s. when Tipton Cable Channel was on what was then known as Insight Communications. It is Brett Kernett who afforded me the opportunity of being a part of this adventure. I reported on local headlines surrounding our local community. How it was done back then, I would gather a week's worth of newspapers, and from them I would get local stories and use them for our news program. We would tape once a week, say a Wednesday or a Thursday, and then the show would start airing the following Monday and run for a full week. I was with the station until Brett sold it to another local individual, Jim McCoy. I hadn't done any television since that time. That was until just recently when I was asked by another local Tipton resident, Jacob Pyle, if I would like to be a part of a web series he was doing. Jacob, with another individual, Weston Paget, were doing a series called Weston Pyle in the News. Jacob had indicated that they were looking for an announcer for their show. I offered to do it. It didn't take long for me to move up in the ranks, though. Jacob was going to have to look for another co-host at the last minute. I mentioned to him that I would be willing to help out. He agreed to give me a chance. Thus, a new show was formed, Altherr and Pyle. Weston continues to be a part of the program as our co-producer. Jacob has been interested in doing videos for some time. He did a newscast for a youth ministry he volunteered at. He began doing weekly newscasts until he was asked to pull the plug last year. The very first video project that Jacob had done occurred back in 2008 during his freshman year of high school. His special education teacher at that time wanted him to do a newscast for a class project, and he learned how to edit and everything. So what you see on our show, he does all the editing and puts it all together. Altherr and Pyle is just not your typical newscast. Oh no, besides news, we also have jokes thrown in as well, as people showcasing their talents and a whole lot more. We are really hoping that this takes off like a rocket and that we will have a lot of viewers tuning in via YouTube or the internet, which if you have internet access, you may go to our website and browse. Just visit www.altherandpyle.weebly.com. If you are interested in being a guest on our show, or know of someone who might, you can reach Jacob Pyle at jtpyle1@AOL.com or myself at DennyAlterr50@yahoo.com. And we'll be right back.
Hey, Mr. No Name, what kind of jokes do you make in the shower?
I don't know, Jacob. What kind of jokes do you make in the shower?
Clean jokes. Clean jokes, that's a good one right there. Oh, I'm full of them today. I love it, that's a good one. I love it.
Coming in September, Altherr and Pyle will become Pyle and Company, with your host Jacob Pyle, along with Mr. No Name and an array of guest co-hosts, songs, skits, and lots of surprises. If you want more information or if you want to be a guest co-host for Pyle and Company, inbox Jacob Pyle on Facebook. Send him an email at jtpyle1@aol.com or leave us a note on our Facebook page. And don't forget to watch Pyle and Company beginning September 5th here on our YouTube page or on our Facebook page. And we'll all be looking forward to having you as a part of the company on Pyle and Company. And now, here with this week's Song of the Week is the one and only Jacob Pyle.
Funny talks, but it don't
fire all alone, you and I. Looking around with the sound of my heart and the sighs. Money talks, but it can't sing and dance and it don't walk. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans, babe. And honey's sweet, but it ain't nothing next to baby's treat. And if you pardon me, I'd like to say we'll do okay forever in blue jeans. Baby, tonight, by the fire all alone, you and I. Nothing around but the sound of my heart and the sigh. And money talks, but it can't sing and dance and it can't walk. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans, babe. And if you pardon me, I'd like to say we'll do okay forever in blue jeans, babe. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans.
Altherr and Pyle will return after this.
Welcome back. If you ever get a chance to read the Tipton Tribune every now and then, you might run into a segment in the lifestyle section of the Tipton Tribune known as Borrowed Time. Well, from time to time on our program, whenever I have a new article that I have written for the Tipton Tribune, which is coincidentally titled Borrowed Time, I messed up again. Weston continues to be a part of the newscast as our co-producer.
You want to start over again?
Yes, can we? There's an article I've written for the May 18th edition of the Tipton Tribune about our television debut on local...
I think you skipped a line.
If you are interested in being a guest on our show, or know of someone who might, you can reach Jacob Pyle at jtpyle1@aol.com or myself at dennyalterr50@yahoo.com. And we'll be right back.
Very good, Denny. 3 times the charm.
Yeah.
3 times the charm.
If you want to watch more episodes of this show, go to www.altherrandpyle.weebly.com. And please don't forget to like our Altherr and Pyle Facebook page as well. Back to you, Denny and Jacob.
And now it's time for this week's final thought. Jacob?
Memorial Day is coming up in a few days, and Memorial Day is an important time to remember all of our men and women who fought our battleground for us, who died from their service. If you know of somebody out there who has served time in the service, give them a hug today, because this is one of the many days when we remember our brave young men and women who risked their lives for us.
Our flag is one of America's truest beauties. We look and admire it. The stars and the stripes each have a specific meaning in this flag. The stripes represent the 13 original colonies, and the stars representing our 50 states. In fact, when Betsy Ross first sewn this American flag, it was hard to imagine that something like that would still be popular to this day. Before we go, let's close with our nation's prayer, the Pledge of Allegiance. And as we say this pledge, let's think of our brave young men and women who have risked their lives for us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And with that, that's going to do it for this edition of Altherr and Pyle. I'm Denny Altherr.
And I'm Jacob Pyle. Until next week, good night, and God bless my friends.
Altherr and Pyle has been sponsored by Quincy's Brass Band. For more information on how you can book them for your next event, go to www.quincy'sbrass.com. And by Second Blessing Thrift Shop in downtown Tipton, a Christian faith-based nonprofit organization that exists to provide practical and spiritual support to the citizens of Tipton County. This is Steve Brown speaking for Altherr and Pyle. This program has been